Hey, this is Robin Jones Music with a sample lesson on a traditional tune called Glasgow Reel, also known as Tamlin on the Irish Bouzouki. Okay, you'll have noticed that I've got my capo at the 5th fret, so I'd advise you do the same. We'd put it at the 5th fret just because it's going to make some of the stretches easier to learn this tune because it's quite demanding, but you don't have to put it at the 5th fret. You can play this tune anywhere. But the Bouzouki does sound good capoed up. So yeah, everyone's got a slightly different way of playing the Glasgow Reel or Tamlin, but this is my way of playing it. I put in a little introduction and then we've got 2 A's, 2 B's. Okay, so that's what the tune sounds like. Obviously, it's a reel, clues in the name, the Glasgow Reel. That means it's in 4/4 time signature. So, quick think about the rhythm. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you notice you've got beats, but you've also got off beats. You've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's something to bear in mind in this reel, is the picking rules. You pick down on the beat and up off the beat. So when we get to the B section, for example, a phrase like that, you've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. That would have to be picked down, up, 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 down. Okay, let's think about the very first phrase that we're going to learn, just to think the rhythm of it. We've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now there, you've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're skipping an and I think someone's decided to leave based on the quality of the lesson perhaps. But basically you've got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that means that that phrase has to be picked down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so it's not inevitable that an up follows a down, and we will be talking more and more about that in the future. Okay, today we're going to try and learn the A section of the tune. So there's 4 lines to the A section, and we're going to start with line 1. Sounds like this: 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Slowed it right down: 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, first finger to 2nd fret G string. And it stays there for this whole phrase. You're going to pick that G string, you're going to go pick, then you're going to pick open D, then you're going to pick back to the G string, then you're going to pick back to the D string, but this time you're going to put 3rd fret down D, then pick back to the G string, and then back to the D string, but this time you're going to release that 3rd fret back to an open, and then final up pick back to the G. So if you think about your left hand, it's not really doing very much at all. You're in this position. The only thing you're really doing is putting your 3rd fret D down and taking it off. Most of this phrase is in the picking, right? So we're like, again, slowly, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you put your 3rd fret D down on the 3rd beat. Right? If you're tapping your foot, you're like 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then you take it off. Okay, that's the first phrase. Maybe pause the video, internalize if you need to there. Second phrase of the A section is very similar in rhythm. It sounds like this. So it's exactly the same picking and same concepts, but obviously a couple of the notes have changed. So we're going up to 3rd fret G, probably with our 2nd finger, That's our new bass note. And then we're going to do the same trick as we did before on the D string, i.e. picking it, adding that third fret. This time though, just to make our lives a bit easier, I personally use my third finger here. Some people might try and use their second finger for both. I personally use third to make my life a bit easier. So it would sound like this. Okay, again, remember the picking there? You're like down, down, up, down, up, down, up. G, D, G, D, G, D, G. Okay, third phrase. This one is maybe the hardest one. It's the same rhythm as the other phrases. It sounds like this. So same picking, same rhythm, but the left hand is harder. So basically we're trying to think of it almost like a chord, like we thought of the other two phrases, where we're just adding in a finger, and this is going to be the chord. Okay, so we want third finger to 5th fret G, first finger to 2nd fret D. Okay, so that's your kind of chord shape. Now the thing that's going to be added into it in the melody is going to be 5th fret D. Now this is a tricky move, but I try and get that with my little finger. Could be quite uncomfortable that, so if don't be scared of really kind of slowing that down, get used to that little hand position. Once you think you can get those notes, you try the phrase. So, same idea as the others. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and or down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, fourth phrase of the A section of the Glasgow reel. This is like the ending phrase, slightly different to the others. It sounds like this. Okay, some people play that differently. That's the way I play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so here we're starting on 3rd fret D. We're going 3rd, 2nd, open. Now it changes to G string, 5th, 2nd. Then we're changing back to D string, open, open. Let me say that again. Starting on the D string, 3rd, 2nd, open, G5, G2, D open, D open. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so now we've got 4 lines. And I do advise going back over the video, pausing, making sure you're good on each of those, and then we try and put them together. We should have something that sounds like this. Then you repeat. Okay, you might have noticed there that at the end of the second repeat, there is something called an alternate ending. So usually in line 4, we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But at the end of the second A section, we're going to do a different version of that. It's basically a shortened version. It sounds like this. So you end up cutting off a few notes. We start from 3rd fret D. We go 3rd, 2nd, open, 5th fret G, and then back to open D. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so now we've got the complete A section for the Glasgow reel. Usually, conventionally, A sections are played twice. So you play the whole of what we just learned and then repeat it all again. So that's what that would sound like. Then repeat. Okay, then you would go into your B section. But what you notice with the Glasgow reel is, even though it's a really great tune, it's actually quite repetitive. The A section is extremely repetitive. It's the same line over and over again. So what is quite nice with the A section, and what I want to do next, is try and get a high octave version which sounds like this. Okay, so everything about that is the same. It's the same notes, it's the same rhythm, but obviously we've moved up an octave and the fingerings on the bouzouki change slightly. So one useful thing to remember, just as we're learning this now, is that your top D string is a clone of your bottom D string, right? So anything that we did on that bottom D string in the first part of the lesson, we're also going to be doing it on the top D string, if that makes sense. So that's just a nice thing to sort of bear in mind. Okay, let's get stuck into phrase 1. Phrase 1 in the high octave, we start on an open A now. We'd go A, D, A, 3rd fret D, A, D, A. Okay, so that's mainly open strings. 1, 2, pardon me, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and here you'll have probably got the gist of this already, but it's also nice to get your droning bottom D involved in all of this, you know. Okay, A section, high octave, phrase 2. Here we're going to start on 1st fret A, and we're going to keep picking to that top D. We're going to go. So really, again, nothing much changes on the top D. You 1st fret A, 1st fret A, open D, back to the A, 3rd fret D, back to the A, open D, back to the A. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Pardon me, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And again, here again, it's nice to get your droning D involved. Okay, A section, high octave, phrase 3. This one's a bit trickier. You need to start on 3rd fret A string. Here I'd recommend doing this with 2nd finger because what's coming next is a bit of a stretch. We're going to have to go 2nd fret top D with 1st finger. So we're going to go. Cool. Then we're going to pick back as usual. 1, 2, and now the high note here we're going to have to get with little finger. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that one is not necessarily as easy as the other two. Again, droning D works well. Pardon me. Doesn't sound too inspiring on its own, because really this is a C chord, really. But in the context of the tune, the droning D always sounds good. It's going to create a bit of tension. 4th line of the high octave B, you've got this. Okay, so we start on top D, 3rd fret, 3rd, 2nd, open, then 3rd fret A, 3rd, open A, open D, open D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And obviously you've got that alternate ending, which is very similar, right? It's so that you'll want to apply 2nd time round. 3rd, 2nd, open, 3rd fret A, back to D. Now if you put that whole high octave A section together, you would have. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to the lesson. I hope it's been useful. In part 2, we'll be looking at the B section in detail. We've got a whole another good section of the tune to learn. Stuff. We'll also be looking at some exercises to get really comfortable at alternate picking in 4/4 because that's a really important skill for this particular reel. So yeah, you can download part 2 of the lesson from my website. There's a link in the description below. I'm also always available for a private lesson. If you'd like to get in touch, just get in touch with me via my website. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy this tune.